Hi, this is Kylie Thompson, host of Food for Thought. Thanks for listening to the following podcast on Public House Media.
Hey, you're listening to Let's Hustle with Lee and Chelsea. We are two girls making our way in sales and entrepreneurship.
We set out to make this podcast after entering our late 20s and realizing we were hitting a wall and felt like our lives and careers were stagnant. After expressing this feeling to countless other women, we realized we weren't alone.
So each week we're bringing you real conversations with real people that are authentic, realistic, and relatable in hopes that you can grow into the best version of yourself. So strap in and let's hustle. Hey friends! Hi. I wanted to really bring the energy today.
I'm glad you did. I was not expecting you to yell, but I'm happy that you did.
Yeah, I just want you guys to be like, hey, we're here, we're listening, we can't wait. I know you're like, is it Thursday yet?
I know.
Guess what, honey?
It is.
Hey! And this is Chelsea.
And this is Lee. That's obviously Chelsea.
All I want to do... Okay, so in 7th grade, there was like a few of us that were advanced.
We in the gifted program? I was in the gifted program. We're so cool.
Anyways, so we gotta like get out of certain classes and do like fun stuff.
Yeah.
So we
That's
got
the gifted program,
I
girl.
know. We gotta like make videos and stuff. But I mean like...
Okay. Where's this?
We really were like advanced though. I know it's like weird hearing me talk like this. I was advanced.
Chelsea's like, I promise I was smart at one point in my life.
Anyways, so we were doing about the Egyptians and I was Cleopatra and I was doing a news section and did I know that I was gonna freaking be on a podcast one day? No, but this is what I said. Hey, Cleopatra, coming at ya.
That was the point of that story. I love you. What grade were you in?
7th.
That's cute.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
No, wait. Was it 6th or 7th?
Okay. Usually, the gifted thing they have in, like, elementary school.
No, like, it was me and, like, some of my very best friends, and we just were ahead in our English class, so they let us do extra things like that. Yeah,
no, that's literally...
It was so fun.
Yeah, wasn't it the best? Didn't you feel, like, so elitist?
Yeah.
I literally, like, in those programs, now I'm like, God, why do they have those? It's so dumb. Like,
yeah.
Why don't they just have different classes for different levels? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I remember in 5th grade, 4th and 5th grade, they would literally take us out of school and, like, take us on field trips to, like, different, like, places to, like, dissect worms and, like, we dissected, like, a frog brain one day when I was in, like, 4th grade because we were in the gifted program. I was just, like, at the time I was like, this is amazing. I'm so smart. I'm smarter than all you hoes. But, like, now I'm like, dang, if I would have been one of those kids left behind, I'd been like, F that B. Lee.
Yeah.
Like, who does she think she is?
Getting into brains.
I think I wrote about it in my diary once.
I would love to read that.
Oh, gosh. I was really bragging hard, too. I thought I was hot-ish.
Yeah, well.
And then I got to high school, and then just got weird, and now here I am, and my brain has been deteriorating ever since.
Actually, I'm strongly debating whether I should say this on the podcast.
Say it.
There's a person that I know that knows a person that knows you.
Uh-huh.
And this person that I know was talking to this person that knows you.
Oh, God.
And was like, oh, that's Lee? I knew her in high school. She was super hot. And that's the end of the story.
That's really nice of them.
Yeah.
Who said that?
I don't know. I mean, I do know, but, like, I don't want to blow their cover. If
That's
they're listening.
really funny.
Off air, we'll discuss.
Okay.
This is
off air.
This is
now
offline.
I know. What if I thought they were hot too? Well, what if I missed my chance?
I was like, that ship has sailed, honey.
Well, that's really good that they thought I was attractive.
Yeah.
Glad they didn't say anything about my brain and my personality, which was just sparkling in both aspects during high school.
Yep.
It wasn't. I was an idiot in high school.
I love that.
Weren't we all, though? Weren't we all just kind of a little bit of, like, an asshole in high school? Maybe. I don't know. I feel like I was.
Okay, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, be honest, please. No, lie to me.
Lie to me. One of my friends and I were catching up, and I totally rewrote history. Like, I forgot the half of the things that happened, and I just thought everyone was happy, and everyone got along, and all was well. And she was like, did you go to the same high school as me? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I just chose to remember the good times, I guess.
Gosh.
I don't know.
That's a talent. I mean, I remember good times, too, but I think, like, the bad times, like, scarred me. To where it's like, you know that thing where you do one embarrassing thing and then you forget every other thing you've ever done in your life that's been successful?
Do you want to hear the one that's
remember...
haunted me?
Yes, I will tell you. Well,
okay.
Dang it. It was the first one that came to my mind, and I don't know why I wanted to tell this story, but you tell yours, and I'll debate on if I'm going to tell mine.
Okay, I have two.
Okay, I'm ready.
There was a kid when I was in, like, 2nd grade that I was in love with.
What was his name?
Russell Baker.
Oh, cute.
Great name.
Great name.
In love with him. So I thought, I'm going to write him a book.
I love how
pictures.
I love this already.
So my book was about getting ready for the day.
I'm going to impress him with my knowledge of preparation.
Literally, I put in there, oh my gosh, this makes, like, my insides squirm thinking about it. But I was like, you put on your shoes. You put on your pants. Okay, but that's not the worst part.
Okay.
So I gave
Was it not the worst part?
It gets better.
Okay, I'm ready.
I actually might have been, like, 1st or kindergarten. Like, I was very wee. Okay?
Yeah, you were a little child.
Little baby.
For sure.
Little baby. And so I gave this book to my crush.
Russell.
Yes. And the girls circled around me during recess, read it to me, and laughed at me.
No!
Humiliating.
Oh my god.
Crushed my
that's scarring.
Sweet
that
soul.
Is scarring for sure.
Another time, I was, like, in 4th grade, and I yelled at one of my friends, like, we were feuding. It was a dude, and I turned around after I said something real sassy on the ice and fell flat on my back. That was also very
oh my god.
humiliating.
I'm so sorry.
But I will forever be scarred by all those hoes circling up around me.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Anyways.
Thing. Well, I'm not going to tell mine because it's too bad, so.
Why? What? I literally told you, I told my future husband, I wrote him a book about getting ready for the day.
Put on your shoes. Okay. So mine's, like, so embarrassing. I'm not exaggerating when I say I couldn't talk about this till I was maybe, like, 22 years old. Okay. I need you to understand, before I tell this, I need you to imagine this entire thing was caught on video.
Oh, no.
My parents videoed this entire thing happening,
no.
okay?
Oh, no.
It's on a VHS somewhere.
Oh.
I don't know if my mom has thrown it away, but just know it was at one point taped. So when you are a Girl Scout, you are... What is it before you're a brownie? You're a daisy. Okay. So you're a daisy when you're, like, 3 to 5, I think. And then once you turn, like, 6 or something, you turn into a brownie. And then you are a junior after that. Whatever. It's, like...
Literally
cute
no idea.
Little baby. You're like a... Anyways. So, it was graduation from being a daisy to a brownie. So, I was literally like 4 or 5. Like, I was a tiny child, okay? And we all were at this church. And we had this ceremony where it was like 12 of us. And we all had to walk up on stage. and we sat on these, there was 2 rows of pews, like, on the stage, and our scout leader, like, stood up and, like, had this, like, these girls have been working so hard, they've been doing X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 and all of a sudden,
oh no,
I literally fart so loud. I mean, like, so loud, like, I'm not kidding you, like, in my 31 years of life, I can't recall a time that even being alone, that at the volume that it was when I was this young. Okay. So, instead of just, like, my reaction's the worst part. I don't even know what I could have done, but immediately, oh my god, I'm crying. Immediately, I start, like, turning around and, like, accusing all the other girls. I'm like, was that you? And everyone's like, no, it was you. And then I start crying. I start crying in front of everyone. And instead of, like, running away, I literally just sit there and I cry the entire time in front of everyone. I don't move. And then I have to, like, we all have to, like, get up and they, like, read our names. And I'm just sobbing, crying the entire time. And then we leave. And that's the most embarrassing story of my entire life.
Oh my gosh.
When I was like 5.
I love that. I laughed so hard it depleted all the oxygen in my brain and made me yawn.
So.
Oh, that's so intense.
Oh, God. So there you go, Chelsea. That's it. So you feel bad about writing a book, about putting your shoes on?
Well,
I was caught on camera. Oh, God. Okay.
I have another one.
Okay, I'm ready. Our podcast has just turned into Mortified, which also...
It's so good.
So good. Listen to Mortified, the podcast. Anyways,
okay,
go ahead.
So, fresh into our relationship. Me and Big A.
Right.
Oh, man. Like, why this man married me, I don't know. I think he has skeletons in his closet. And I have yet to find them. And he's just, like, hiding them.
All right. I'm
so,
ready.
Like, we were in his room, and we were sitting on his bed, middle of the day, watching something, like a movie or something, on his laptop.
Yeah.
Very, very average thing to do in college.
Totally.
No big deal.
Right.
Well, I started my period. All over his bed.
No.
Yeah. So,
oh my God.
I was humiliated. So I tried to like tuck everything in, like put a blanket over it, like hide it.
Oh my God.
And keep in mind, I have no money, right? So
yeah.
I take the last like $40 that I have and I go and I buy sheets. And I go back and I give him these sheets. I'm like, hey.
So,
I got you something, and I gave him these sheets, and he was like, oh, I know, I saw it. I was like, I'm so sorry. He's like, it's okay, I didn't want to make you, like, feel uncomfortable or something. He's like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, he was so nice about it, but...
Ugh. But in the moment, and especially, like, when it's your, like, in the very early stages... Like,
well, I was still young and not, like, proud of, like, I'm like, yeah, I have a period.
Yeah.
Like, ovaries.
Right, like, whatever.
Uterus.
Oh, gosh. You just feel such shame in yourself.
Yes.
At that age.
Oh, my gosh, it was so embarrassing.
Ugh, I'm sorry.
It was so embarrassing.
Jeez.
I love a good embarrassing story,
God,
though.
truly.
Ugh.
Truly.
Dreaming.
Yeah.
So,
anyways.
Your fart story is great.
I mean... I can't think of a more, I don't know. Maybe someone else has a very, that's it. That's all I think about. If someone says, what's your embarrassing story? I literally, that's it.
I have one that's a real, it's just, I'm going to have to think about this. I'm going to have to pray about it.
That's okay. Yeah, pray about it. We can talk about it on the next episode. We can do another intro about other embarrassing stories. I'm sure I can think of another one. Oh. Because I'm a giant idiot, so.
My list goes, I was singing the national anthem in high school. Forgot the words.
Oh, okay. I cannot listen to people sing the national anthem. I can't.
Why?
I get anxiety because I'm afraid they're going to forget the words.
Oh my gosh,
I
know what you mean.
It is like watching someone fail miserably on, like, America's Got Talent or American, like, that's how I feel when I watch someone sing the national anthem, especially when they do it a cappella. I have to walk out of the room.
Oh, yeah.
I literally can't watch it.
Yep, I was there and I was singing it. It was like the literally 100th time I'd done it. And I just, in the rocket's red glare, gave prayer. Like,
yeah.
It was the worst thing. And then my social studies teacher, like, said, hey, you might want to write that on your arm next time. I was like, ugh, I know. Okay.
Oh my God.
It was really embarrassing.
Oh my Lord.
But, anyways.
That's so funny.
Now that we've told you
everything terrible that's happened to us,
our deepest, darkest secrets.
So, we can continue with our episode now. Which
and,
is actually...
well, Baxter, we're going to need you to cut all of that out.
Yeah. 15 minutes in, we are finally talking about what we're here to talk about.
Yeah.
Which is... Oh, yeah. I was like, oh, what are we talking about? Wow, I just had a stroke. We're going to be talking about selective favors today because... Chelsea and I feel like lately we think that this is a really important thing to talk about because, I mean, Chelsea, I feel like, is the most kind-hearted, giving human being on the planet. She really is, truly.
Thanks.
And I'm the most paranoid person on the planet. So together, when we give favors or when we do favors or when we ask for favors, I think that we're like at two extremes of the spectrum. We're like, you give favors, you expect nothing in return, you like whatever.
Absolutely.
And I literally am like, if I ask for a favor, I'm like, what is this person going to think of me? Or if someone asks me for a favor, I'm like, what do they really want? Like, what do they really want from me? Like, should I do this favor? Should I say no? So we thought it was really important to talk about, you know, some ways that we can negotiate favors in a healthy way and how to ask for a favor in a professional way, especially in business. It's really important. In life, it's important, but in business, It's very important to be tactful and respectful.
That, and it's literally asking for a favor is a type of sales because you're selling yourself at the cost of someone else's time.
Yeah.
So,
boom. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, I'm, like, really big into karma, so I'm like, what comes around goes around type of thing, you know?
Yo, same. I used to have a karma tattoo, but I got it removed because it was hideous. So I, at one point in my life, completely believed in that.
Where was it?
It was not on my butt, I'll say that. But it was somewhere on my body that was just stupid to have a karma tattoo. I still totally believe in karma, but, like, not so hard that I needed it where it was.
Okay.
So, anyways.
I love that.
I had that. So.
Wonderful. Moving on.
Moving on. First point we want to make today is when you're asking for a favor, you need to consider how your favor impacts the other person.
Yes.
Because, I mean, like Chelsea said, like, you are essentially doing sales. Like, you're selling someone on yourself and their costs and their needs. And so what you need to realize is when you ask for a favor, it's really not all about you. Like, by you asking someone else to do something, it's not all about you at all, because, like, you have to realize that other people, similar to everyone, if you do something for someone, like, it makes you feel good. Like, It really does. And so when you're asking this person, like, are you putting a burden on them? Is this something that they're willing to do? Like, if you already feel like when you ask someone for a favor that you're going to be putting stress on them, that is a really great indicator that you don't need to ask them that favor.
Yeah, if you are already feeling you're putting them out before you've even got to the favor, you've failed.
Completely.
You fail, and that kind of goes with the whole, if we're going to put the sales twist on it, when you're asking for a favor and it's like you're actually selling yourself for someone's time, essentially, you have to have a really good mentality about it. Like, asking for a favor is basically selling a product or a service, so, and that product and service is you, so you've got to have a winner's mentality. Like, whatever you're asking for, if you're going to play it, you got to play it to win it. Don't try it. Don't hope. you've already decided you're going to do it, so you might as well ask them. So if I'm going to ask Lee for a favor, I've already thought of it. I've already committed to asking her a favor, so just go and ask it.
Completely.
And when you ask it, you got to be clear. You got to be precise. You got to do it like, hey, would you go grab a paper off my desk? This is in the current work situation that I have been a part of. Will you go get this paper off my desk? Sure. Go in. Papers are all over all over the desk. What paper?
Which paper? Right.
You know, so just like say what you're going to say, be clear, be concise, and
Completely.
have clear expectations.
Exactly. And like, just to be nitpicky about your story, like, that's not a big, huge favor. Like,
No.
asking someone to get a piece of paper and there's a bunch of papers all over the desk. But what that does to you, if they ask again, it's like, no, I don't want to go get it. Like, you weren't even specific last time. You go get your own paper. You know where it is.
Yeah.
And that already is setting you up for failure for the next time. Like,
Yep.
if you ask someone and you know exactly what you want from them and you say, will you do X, Y, and Z? And they do X, Y, and Z, then that makes you happy and the other person is happy that they just made you happy.
Yeah. Well, also, when you ask somebody to do something for you and you set them up to do it correctly and to win, it's not so stressful.
Oh my gosh.
How many times has someone been like, hey, can you go grab this out of the drawer? And you're like, freak.
Yeah.
It's not in the freaking drawer.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? And you feel dumb and stupid and you can't
Yes.
find it. Especially if it's someone at work that you like don't want to like
gosh.
frustrate or something.
Ugh.
And so
Yes.
just when you're asking for a favor, be very clear, be very concise, and have like very clear expectations. It's not rude to have good communication.
At all.
So
No, it's very considerate. Maybe over communicate when you're asking for a favor.
yeah.
And this is also maybe if like you're in some sort of like leadership position, this definitely applies, I think, a little bit more. Because I feel like in a leadership position, you do ask for favors of people underneath you, most likely. I mean, it like sucks sometimes, but you do. But a lot of times when you're super clear and you're super like precise about, especially, it's not even like asking someone to do a task, but like a true favor, like, hey, I'm so sorry to have to ask you this, but will you do X, Y, and Z? Like, will you stay an hour later tonight because I have a client calling in at this time and I want you to be here and like listen in on the call or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's like setting a certain expectation, like, hey, I want you on this call because I believe in you and I want you to hear this, and this is why I'm asking you to stay an hour late tonight. And
That's
because
like,
it's going to benefit you, and because I trust you enough to like bring you in for this.
Yeah, don't lie. Like, that's the other thing is like when someone, how do I want to describe this? Like, say you go to your friend and be like, hey, can you introduce me to your boss? I really want to expand my network. But that's really not what you want to do. You wanted to get to the boss because they can help you with A, B, and C.
Right.
So instead of lying about it,
Yeah.
or just like, I just want to go to be there, and you don't you haven't told them like your full expectations, you can't do that.
Because then they won't trust you to do a favor for you in the future.
Also, the other part of it is, what if they can actually help you get to that? And then you don't set them up to look like a dummy, and you don't look like a dummy. Because what if your friend knows what's going on, and this person, like, this is just an example, like, hey, can I come to that barbecue? I really want to meet like your coworkers, or like, I want to expand my network, but really I want to go to that barbecue to talk to your boss because I want a job.
Yeah.
I don't know. But instead of me being like, hey, I really want to meet your boss because I'd really like to work in this department for your company, you know, you might be able to connect me with someone better, or tell me like, hey, now it's not a good time because...
Correct.
You know what I mean? You might have intel that I wouldn't, and maybe that's just not something that I would be comfortable, or you would be comfortable with, and by me lying, it puts you in a really uncomfortable situation.
Completely. And that circles back to our point earlier, which... if you feel like you have to lie, you probably shouldn't be asking for the favor in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you can be very clear in your intention and not lie, and you know that it's not going to put you in an uncomfortable situation, absolutely ask for it. Even if it's scary, if it's stressful, because I feel like sometimes being like, hey, I want to ask your boss for a job, it can be scary, but that's not like... vindictive in any way, you know what I mean?
Well,
but like, if you feel truly like, I'm going to get this person in trouble, or this person is going to hate me if I ask them this favor, reconsider.
Well, the other thing is, when you're really clear about it, it makes it so much easier to be like, no, we talked about A, B, and C, you agreed to X, Y, and Z, And so everything is just on the table.
Yeah.
You don't have to be like, oh, I forgot to say that. You don't have to pull that card.
Oh my God.
Okay?
Yes.
But it's just so much better if you address it head on, even if it's uncomfortable. So everything's out there, because something that you might find uncomfortable, the other person's like, oh, absolutely.
Yep.
No problem.
Completely.
You know?
Oh, yeah. I think, too, whenever you know that you're asking for a favor for someone, you have to realize that the next step in that is you have to be willing to return it in somehow. Like, whether that's doing something nice for them, even if it's just getting, like, a thank you gift. Like, you have to realize that if that person asks you for a favor in return, like, you can't get upset about it.
Yeah.
You can't be annoyed by it because you put yourself out there and ask them for help. So I think that completely gives someone the right to turn around and ask you for help. Because sometimes I feel like people ask me for favors a lot, and then when I ask for help, people get really annoyed, and I just get...
That's the worst.
It literally is one of my biggest pet peeves on the planet. On the planet.
Yeah.
I can't handle it.
No, it's rude. That is one thing, is like, if you're gonna ask for favors, you've got to be willing to, like...
Completely.
You know?
And, like, even, like, swear to God, if someone reaches out to me and asks for maybe, like, advice on something, even if they literally just are like, hey, I will buy you a drink next time I see you, or I'll buy you coffee, or I'll buy you lunch, I feel like that's solid enough.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
hey, you're doing me, that's amazing, thank you.
Literally, last night, I asked Adam for a favor. Hey, will you let the dogs out? And in the morning, I'll get up and I'll put your breakfast bowl in the microwave.
Yeah, there you go. It is a transaction.
Yep.
You give. Then that person accepts. Then they give and you accept.
Yep.
Give and take, right? Give and take. That's not give and accepting. I don't know. Maybe it is give and... Whatever.
Whatever. I know
Give
what you're
and
saying.
take is
give
what it
and
is.
take.
Gosh. I feel like also now if we kind of want to delve into like the very like negative side that maybe applies to me being a paranoid Patty.
Yeah. One thing before you go into negative paranoid Patty is
yes.
If you're asking somebody to give you something that they make money on, like if you know someone is paid to give people advice, like don't just like take advantage of that. You know,
you can't.
Or if you know somebody, like you have to compensate people for their time.
Completely. Yes.
So, like, if you're going to ask for something, like, you need to compensate for the time. If you can't do it fiscally, then it has to be a different way.
Absolutely. Like, I have people reach out to me through Monthly Main a lot and are like, I've had a couple people are like, hey, I'm a blogger. I'll write about you if you send me a box. And I'm just like, okay, can I, like, see your blog? And then when I ask them that, they, like, don't say anything in return, or they just, like, they clearly are lying about it. But, like, if I have someone actually reaching out and they have, like, a decent amount of followers and they have, like, decent... Like, if you have over, like, 2,000 followers and you have people, like, actually liking and commenting on your stuff, if you DM me and are like, hey, can I have a box and I promise I will post about it, I most likely will be like, heck yes. Like, I absolutely will. Because I feel like, yes, they're asking for a favor by me sending them something for free, but they're offering something in return that could be good on my end.
Yeah.
And so... that is something that you have to think about, because that costs me money, but they're offering some sort of compensation in return for that.
Totally.
Because if they post about it, what if one of their followers likes it, and then I get a subscriber, and there you go, it evens it out.
Yep.
Boom.
Boom, baby.
Yeah.
Okay. Your turn.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I think this is where the original conversation maybe started about the topic of this pod is... I think that it is so important to recognize signs of someone trying to take advantage of you being a kind human.
Yeah.
Or they feel like if they've asked you for one thing and you do that one thing for them, you've opened a door now for them to ask you over and over and over to do something because that's like what they've expected of you. Whether it's just like giving advice and then they feel like they can reach out to you all the time to get advice from you. Like, especially as someone who is, not me, but like my mentors that I used to go to like all the time, they would understand that, like, if they were going to meet up with me for lunch and talk to me and, like, mentor me and give me motivation, they knew, like, I was buying lunch. Or, like, I was going to do, like, buy them a bottle of wine or something. Mm-hmm. Because, like, you just have to do that. But I feel like some people, they really take advantage of the fact that people are nice. And it hurts me to think about it. And so, I think a couple of warning signs are... For one, you need to realize that if someone is not being direct with you, if they're trying to beat around the bush and are like, hey, like, I really feel like I really just wanted to, like, reach out to you because I just really, really needed, like, some advice from you, or I, like, really, really needed this. If they're using a lot of filler words, I swear to God, and obviously, like, not in their speech, because I use filler words all the time, but if they're emailing you, if they're messaging you, if they're texting you, they're already really trying to
convince you.
They're trying to convince you, and they're trying to, like, beat around the bush, when really, if they really wanted something, they would just be very direct with you. Like, hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do this for me? And so... it's like, I feel like I just want to tell personal stories, but I don't want to call anybody out. That's why I'm struggling so hard, because I'm like, I just want to give specific examples.
Use an example, but change the name.
Okay. I can't. I feel like these people listen to this podcast. Okay. I'll say this.
Say it.
I think that our friend, Kaylee...
Yes.
Who is just a wonderful human being.
Absolute
one of the best
perfection.
hairstylists
literally
ever. She's complained to me a couple times about how she has certain clients who will come in and they get their roots done and a cut and it's X amount of money. And Kaylee will be like, hey, I'm going to knock off this much for you because last week I had 2 other clients come in and say that you referred them. Thank you. And so the next time they come in and they get like a full head of highlights and a cut and their base color redone, and they get like weird about her being like, okay, well, it's going to be this much, which is clearly way much more. Wow. Way more than what they previously charged. And I feel like when you set up like that certain expectation, because she did them a favor of saying, like, hey, I'm going to do this nice thing for you.
People suck. That's very clear what she was doing.
Exactly. But it's, like, it's sometimes hard to recognize and set the boundary of people either taking advantage of you or you being nice. And I think that sometimes it's hard to draw the line, especially if you are a kind person and you're understanding and you know where people are coming from. It's hard to be able to draw the line and realize, like, I'm not just being nice right now. Like, you are taking advantage of me and my time and my expertise in a certain subject.
Oh, no, I totally get that. Like, in work, and we waive all our setup fees, right? So it's like, you start up with this, there's no upfront money, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Well, we put that on there, and then after, like, the salespeople are gone and the route guys are in, and they're like, oh, well, our salesperson said that this was all free. And it's like, on your initial install, like, I literally wrote on your contract.
Yeah.
You know, that's the point where people just, like, don't care to remember or they try to take advantage of something.
Yeah.
And that's when it's really frustrating. And one thing I have found to help with this is to have everything in writing. Anytime, like, if you're giving something away, have it, like, on a card, like, hey, thank you because of this.
Yeah.
Like, here is 20% off for a referral.
Yeah.
You know, or, like, a punch card, or just to be, like, anything I can do to just, like, over clearly, like, literally as clear and as dumb. I'm not trying to be rude right now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anybody's dumb, but if you can just break it down and talk, like, time actually, whatever. If you're listening, I love you. But, I love my dogs. I literally love my dogs. They're my favorite things on the planet.
They're wonderful.
They're amazing.
Absolutely.
They cuddle me. They love me. They're always excited to see me. They don't complain about what I feed them. They go to the bathroom in the same places. They're beautiful.
Yes. They're very well behaved. I think.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyways, so one day I asked my brother-in-law if he would watch our dogs, and he says, I really don't want to. And I was like, excuse you? You don't want to? Like, you couldn't have just, like, lied to me?
Yeah.
But after my fuel of rage had burned out, I was like, you know what? Like, I really respect that. He didn't lie to me, and he didn't want to be taken advantage of, because sometimes you can do that, you know, especially to family and friends.
Oh, absolutely.
And so for him to be like, I don't want to be, like, your dog sitter, like, your fallback on. Yeah. Like, now I know.
Yes.
Like, at first, like, yeah, I was offended.
Yeah.
I was like, these are my babies. Like,
right.
You're my brother-in-law. Why wouldn't you want to? But now, like, I look back and I'm like, you know what? That A, that took guts. B, I like that he was honest. And C, I have 1,000%. I know the expectations.
Yeah.
And I know where he stands on it. Absolutely. And I can't be like, do you think he'd be annoyed if I asked? No, I know he would. You know, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Because you have to realize dogs aren't everyone's cup of tea, just like any other, you know what I mean?
Is like, hey, I actually don't want to take advantage of this person. Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah.
I've had people reach out to me about starting, like, box businesses and are like, hey, can I take you to breakfast and can you help me with a couple ideas? I'm like, absolutely. Like, yeah, I'll help out. And then it's like I get there and they're like, okay, well, I have this idea. And I'm like, okay, tell me about your idea. And they're like, no, like, that's it. I just have this idea. And it's like they expect me to do all the work for them. And I feel like that is taking advantage of someone.
Oh, 1,000%.
Like, no, you have to do the work, and then you ask me for a couple questions.
Who did you go to for A, B,
exactly,
and C?
Like, hey, I put together this and this and this, but I want to know, like, what box company did you use? Like, okay, that's totally a valid question. Let me help you out. Hey, when you're looking at products, what are a couple of websites that you used? Yes, oh my gosh, totally. Like, oh my, I had breakfast with this girl one day, and she was just like, she didn't even know, like, what to name her, like, box that she was putting together. And I'm like, girl, I don't do branding. Like, I know what I did, and, like, I'm not you. I'm not, like, a business startup specialist.
Yeah.
That's another thing, too. You gotta realize, when you're asking someone for a favor, and you're asking them over and over and over for a favor, if that's not their job, or if that's not, like, for example, I'm not a startup consultant. I have my business, and that's my business. Like, I can't help you in every single aspect. You can't expect someone who hasn't done exactly what you've done to have all the answers, and you can't try to, like, force it out of them, because that's what I feel like happens a lot of times. Even if it's just, like, if I'm asking you for advice on dealing with, like, what's something that we don't have in common, personally? I was going to say, we have so much in common. I don't even know. Like,
our zodiacs?
No. Like, ooh, here's one. I'm asking you for advice on cats.
Oh, okay.
Over and over. And you don't even own cats. But I'm just like, yeah, but, like, Chelsea's my friend, and, like, she'll help me no matter what. Let me ask her about cats. And you're like, okay, well, this is my opinion. And I'm like, great, thank you so much. And then I come back with another question about cats. It's like, no, go to a cat specialist.
Yeah.
I think this is also a big part of our last episode. Go see a therapist. Like, stop asking your friends for mental health advice constantly. Like, you can bounce ideas off of them.
Also, your friends might just be as mentally messed up.
I'm like, also, I'm crazy. My brain does not function properly.
So listen to our podcast.
Don't ask me for help. Listen to what I say.
We're here to be relatable, not to, like, give you advice.
I feel like we just went off on a tangent, and I don't care. I feel like I needed to get all that out.
I think you did. The conviction and passion in your eyes just, like, said it all to me. Do you feel better?
Yeah, I do. I think that sometimes I'm, like, an empath. And I don't know for sure that I'm, like, the exact, like, definition of an empath. But I do feel like I am able to give advice, like life advice, very easily. It comes very natural to me.
Totally.
And even if it's not even, like, telling people what to do, it's like, I think that I'm able to almost, like, therapist it out. Like, okay, well, what do you think you should do? Or, like, what do you, like, what makes you feel the best?
Yeah.
Like, not telling people specifically. And I feel like in that sense, I get taken advantage a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Advantage of a lot. But I just have constantly, like, people asking me what they should do in life, and I don't know what to tell you.
I think people don't ask
you know
me
what I mean?
Because I'll be like, okay, what do you want to do? Let's do this. Okay, Lee, what do you want to do?
I don't know. Wait, am I supposed to not know, or do I say it?
Whatever you want. We're just improving.
Okay, great. I don't know. What do you think I should do, Chelsea?
That's not a question that you ask me. What makes you happy?
I don't know. Maybe, what do you think makes me happy?
Again, that's not a question. When you wake up in the morning, what do you want to do?
I want to drink coffee.
Okay, do you like to make coffee?
I love making coffee.
Okay, have you ever thought about being a barista?
No, I haven't.
Why?
Because I don't know.
So what are you going to do next?
I'm going to go learn how to be a barista.
Okay, where are you going to go?
I'm going to go.
I need a list of 3.
Down the street. See, you're so direct, and I just can't be like that.
I think people get like, oh my gosh, she's so
and people
scared.
are like, this is a lot. I can't do all these things.
And I'm like, why?
Dude, I know.
Why?
I am so emotionally charged, I think, and that's, I think, where we're different. Is you are extremely... When people ask you for advice, you're so practical, and I love that about you, and I think that is... people don't take advantage of you because they know when they come to you, they're going to get a straight answer, or they're going to get, like, legit ideas.
Yeah.
And I'm much more, I don't know, based on emotions and, like, spiritual feelings.
I love that. That's why we work
and it's great
so well
with my
together.
close friends, but it's just, like, sometimes it attracts people into my life that are very codependent on other people. And I can't handle that sometimes.
There has been the relationships I've seen, like, you form.
It's happened my entire life.
4-year friendship that I'm like, what?
I know.
But why?
Dude, it's happened my entire life. I attract codependent people. I don't know how, I can't explain to you. I need to talk to my therapist about this, actually. I don't really know why I'm talking about this out loud. Take your own advice, you idiot.
But, so if you're going to ask for advice, be clear, be direct, be honest, know your worth, know their worth, compensate, and don't take advantage.
Please, be aware.
Be aware.
Just be aware. Try to be self-aware. And if you're not, go see a therapist. They'll tell if you're self-aware or not.
Or find a friend that's going to tell you that you're a jerk.
Absolutely.
Those are good friends.
Those are good friends. Mm-hmm. Well, I hope that everything we said made sense today, because it helped me a lot. I feel like I worked through a lot of things today.
I'm so glad.
Thank you. Yeah, go off, be awesome. Be smart about your favors. Be selective. You're amazing. We believe in you. Have a wonderful Thursday.
Rate, review, subscribe.
Yes.
Please.
Yay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.